Most of the Ugandans lost everything. Some of them had money, but there was inbuilt tradition of hard work. The British ethos are almost like Indian ethos. I don't call it discrimination. I also ask myself, am I equally fair to everybody I meet? In India, did I treat Patel and Hindu and Muslim and Christians equally? Deep down, we have our preferences.
So, CB, how that time I understand, like every individual who comes to this country as as an immigrant, they have to go through a lot of challenges. Then, how did this thought of becoming a journalist and starting Asian Voice and Gujarat Samachar started?
That was much later. Every society, every culture has its own strength and inevitably some weakness also.
So today I'm sitting with a man who has helped to shape the identity, the voice, and the confidence of generations of British Asians. It's just not an interview, it is a message to the next generation. So please welcome me today to speak to our very own Chandrakant Babubhai Patel, fondly known as CB or CB Patel.
Thank you, Pranav. My life before I went to East Africa, Tanzania, looking for better future. Over there, I had to think carefully the way ahead. And I was fortunate. I decided to do further studies in law. So I joined University of London external student for LLB and the Lincoln team for Bharat. But before that, and I will be very frank, I read a book called Learning to be a Lawyer or Learning a Law or something by Granville Williams.
Okay.
And that gave me advantage or insight what the law is all about. Also, every society, every culture has its own strength and inevitably some weakness also. But I believe British culture, if you call British culture, not English, British culture, British tradition is something which I'm very proud of. Essentially, the British ethos are almost like Indian ethos.
Correct.
England was under the Roman law, Roman rule for over 1000 years. India was very fortunate. Even 600 years ago, when England was getting as England, India was a developed society, so own language, literature, traditions. But Britain, in the last 600 years, they built up the empire, but they learned how to also manage it. Also, British people are also able to look back and learn and change their course. So I decided to, I was Indian citizen, I choose to be British.
That's good.
I could have become American because my brother-in-law was in America. I had a permission or potential for their green card, but I chose to be British, and I got no regrets.
So CB, you said you did your law study, and then you came to UK, and it was in the
No,
70s.
no, I didn't. I started doing law studies from Dar es Salaam.
Okay.
I came here after passing one exam. There were two more to do. So I came here to follow the study. But when I came here for 5 months, I was full-time student. But then I realized that I need Lakshmi ji more than Saraswati.
Okay.
I
Okay.
need money more than
Yeah.
qualification.
Right.
I also was lucky. I got a job in civil service here.
Okay. Was that your first job in civil service as you came
The
here?
first job, I came here on 19th of November 1966
Okay.
because my two friends were here, Manubhai Thakkar and Rasik Lavingia.
Okay.
And I wrote to them from Dar es Salaam that I want to come there. They said, come here. And I said, my budget is only about £5 per week expenditure.
Okay.
And I only have for about 8 months money. But they came to pick me up at the airport. They took me to their small room, smaller than this room, with two bed and one folding bed,
Okay.
kitchen inside, toilet to be shared.
Right.
But these were all challenges. So I came in the morning about 5:30. But Manubhai Thakkar I kept a job. This is very interesting. I told him that I needed a job as soon as possible.
Okay.
And he was a bookkeeper job. Very good in those days. He was earning about 20 pounds per week. And at 3:30 or 4, I had to go for an interview for a job as a bookkeeper.
Okay.
And Manu Bhai, I said, look, I don't know if I'm a bookkeeper. He said, oh, go for interview. And just said, yes, you know the fundamentals of bookkeeping.
Okay.
And if you are selected, then go to the nearest bookshop and buy a book called Learn How Bookkeeping, Learning Bookkeeping.
Learning how to, yes, correct.
So I went for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Manu Bhai had dripped me properly. The thing was white. There were very few people of brown color in that. In that building, only I was on, and they were nice people. They said, okay, you start from next Monday. This happened on Friday.
Okay.
You start job as a bookkeeper in this company
Oh, wow.
near Orgate East.
Okay.
I said, fine. Then I was looking for odd jobs, and for 4 or 5 months, any odd job. Suppose there was shop, Indian owned shop in near Holloway Road or Harvard. They wanted somebody to fill up flour from a big sack to 1 pound, 2 pound. It was not a job I was looking for, but it was giving me some money.
Correct.
So I had to make some money, and
It's basically the life of any
I did
immigrant.
some minor jobs. I had a very good job because either Christmas came on the second week of December. The local post office had a vacancy to help people in the big sorting office to carry the sacks from this corner to that corner. It was physical job, laborious job,
Yes.
and I liked it because it was giving me very good money.
Okay.
But it was only for Christmas time. But it gave me, I would say, much more than I expected.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
By the time I had so many odd jobs, and in February, somebody told me that there is a vacancy in the civil service as a clerk.
Okay.
And in East Africa, I was a civil servant for 6.5 years,
In Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Okay.
So I applied for the job. There was interview. For a clerical job, there were 3 people interviewing you in a posh place near Regent's Park. They asked you very strange question, but they passed me. And I was offered a job in Her Majesty's Civil Service. It's called House of Common Parliamentary Press
Okay.
near Blackfriars. I went there out of only, there were about 500 people working in that press where they prepared Hansard. And there were about only 12 people in the account department, and I was only non-white.
Okay.
But there was a feeling of uneasy because they did not know me, I did not know them. Also, but I must say, I don't call it discrimination. I also ask myself, am I equally felt to everybody I meet? In India, did I treat Patel and Hindu and Muslim and Christians equally? Deep down, we have our preferences. We like and dislike. But there were discrimination, but also there was an environment for integration also. This society helps you to integrate.
Correct.
And those who integrate, they take advantage. So I worked in that job. Again, it was giving me 6 pounds a week. But if I work on Saturday and four over extra, I'll get 1 pound more.
Which year was it that you were earning this £4?
Well, I was exactly 29. Right?
29. And which year was this roughly? Which year was this? Was it 1970?
I'm talking about 1967.
67. Okay.
1967 March was another by chance. I joined the civil service job.
Were you with your family then? Were you already married? You
My
had your
wife
children?
joined me. I came in November. Pushpa joined in May.
Okay.
So from my sharing from my friends, I went to separate rooms.
Okay.
There was problem housing, but then part of that. And Saroj Ben, Pushpa's elder sister, came about 2 months later on.
Okay.
So we were living in a 2-bedroom flat.
Okay.
Very, very poor.
Okay.
But by the time I realized that I should buy a house
Okay.
and get better job.
Right.
Accidentally, I met an Englishman in a train journey. And he was, first time, a Gora man was talking to me in a very nice way. He asked me all these questions. Then he said, look, I can offer you better career. I said, what is job? He's selling mutual funds, health insurance. I said, no, I can't sell because temperamentally. I said, don't worry, come to the place, see what we are doing. No compulsion. So I went for a 5 year training.
Okay.
They gave me, he sent me return ticket first class from London to Leeds, voucher to stay in a posh hotel called Queen's Hotel for 6 days, and also £40 for the time. And when you are earning £6 and £40, and I told my wife, my God, no condition. You come there, see what you're in. So I went there just for that sort of 40 safari. I joined them and I liked it.
So, CB, how that time I understand, like every individual who comes to this country as as an immigrant, they have to go through a lot of challenges. Then, how did this thought of becoming a journalist and starting Asian Voice and Gujarat Samachar started?
That was much later.
Okay.
But when I met Peter Grace, I realized that if I work hard, honestly, and perform, there's a scope of making more money and getting promotion. Worked so hard in July and September that by November it was so good. I think I decided to resign my civil service job.
Okay.
So in January, after about 8 months, I resigned. They were surprised. And by June, July 68, I gave up my study also.
Okay.
So I never appeared for my second part or first or final part. The Lord training helped me later on. Somebody was coming, I bought a house and a car, and we were reasonably well off. And then money brings money. So I used the money to buy properties,
Okay.
small properties. So by June 73, I was quite well off.
Okay.
Your own success makes me very happy. You are an entrepreneur, successful. But to go back, things are going very well. And Gujarat Samachar, everybody knows that it was started by two people before. It was started in 72.
Okay.
But I knew I was a financial consultant, quite well known, if I may say so. So I knew that there was people called Garvi Gujarat. I met Mr. Solanki at some other event, and without, he approached me, and he said, "Can you subscribe?" I said, "How much?" He said, £2.50 per year. No, sorry, something like that. So I gave £25. I gave address of my family members and clients. For him, that was the largest bulk subscription.
Oh, okay.
I did it because I genuinely believe in word, shabda. Every word has a message.
Correct.
And Kusum Shah, who also I knew from 21st November 1966. I met them, Pushpa, everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
we went. No, not Pushpa, Pushpa went. But anyway, she started Gujarat Samachar, and I also was aware that Gujarat Samachar was the first weekly. She started the proper weekly. Garbi Gujarat was the fortnightly and more handwriting. Gujarat Samachar started very well, but within 2 years, there are problems. Partnerships and writing newspapers is not easy.
It's not easy.
So Pushpa was called Bhabhi by Kusum, and they were in financial. I didn't know. I was a subscriber. They approached Pushpa. Kusum approached Pushpa, and she told that, look, we are the desperate thing, and we want to sell it. That they say, okay, we'll buy it. And we had money, commission. So we paid the money, we took it over. In the sense that we agreed to buy it, we paid the money. But I did not know what is called. That is a coincidence that my father had told me in October, November 73, when I went to India for Mundan ceremony of my son. And he was a sannyasi. We had not married for 13 years. And we had a very short meeting. He was not happy about me doing business and making money alone. He wanted to do something. Jnana Yagna, Akshar
Nanyagna.
Jnana.
Yes.
After agreeing with Kusum and that will take over Gujarat Samachar, in November 75, I was worried how to do it. So I went in Kimberlin, Surrey. There is a theosophical lodge. And I went for 3 days retreat, like Chintan, how to do, what to do. And I was very lucky. I had some ideas about what I should do. Then I also came to know about Thompson Foundation and Reading. They used to have a training classes for journalists.
Mm-hmm.
I joined them for 1 week. So I had some rudimentary knowledge about media, print media. So in 76 April, we took over Gujarat Samachar. Our management 9:30. We made mistakes, we lost money, but within 2-3 years, we knew what a reader would require. So then again, good fortune, good people, good team also. And again,
So that's how your Gnan Yagna started, basically giving Gnan to everybody by Gujarat Samachar.
well, Gujarat Samachar started, we started innovative. From the very beginning, we put 2 pages of English
Right.
in Gujarat Samachar.
Okay.
Eventually became as a new life separate paper in 77, early 77. I owe so much to the Gujarati and Indian and Asian community,
Yes.
besides British community,
Yes.
that my experiments with media has been so much productive. Not only in terms of money. To be honest, publications never made so much money. My income was properties and shops.
Correct.
But business was helped by media. My mind was very happy.
Yeah. Just this brings me to another question. So you helped thousands of people who were in Africa, East Africa, and other immigrants to come to the UK. What is the sacrifice that, or the thing that you had to pay, for all of this that you did to bring people in?
People from India, from Punjab mainly, went to build railways in the beginning of the 20th century. Gujaratis went at the same time as middle class administrators, railway staff. So Gujarati and Indian migration was more, in the beginning they were invited, they were recruited. But then there's something typically Indian. They always look for better prospects. The Gujarati community, the Indian community, East Africa, by the time the Second World War ended, was very small. But after the Korean War, with the economic development and in the British society, realized that eventually they have to release the colonies. There was a lot of Indians, many hardworking. They built up their businesses, professions. But by 1955-56, there was a wind of change. The African emancipation, which I supported, I was member of Tanganyika African National Union.
Okay.
I genuinely believe they deserve to be free. But when they became independent, even before that, Indians realized that there is no long-term future in East Africa.
Correct.
And they have British passport.
Yes.
So some of them kept it. Large number of them kept.
But you helped a lot of people to come also.
I did not help anybody. In 1972, when Amin expelled Asians from Uganda, there were about 10 or 12 camps, what they call evacuees. And I used to visit the camp. And I was just by nature, I would go to a camp about 30-40 miles from London. In the beginning, out of curiosity. But there were always some help, translation or food wise or small amount of money or some fruits. And I realized that this, and especially Ugandans, they have worked so hard. They sacrificed maximum. Most of the Ugandans lost everything. Some of them had money, but there was inbuilt tradition of hard work, frugality, of sharing experience. And I know many examples. Uganda Asian, because by the time I had a number of shops, as I said before.
Yes.
Whatever the respect Asians get today, partly goes to East African Asians, mainly Indians, because 70%, 75% of the East African Asians were Indians only.
Correct.
And I believe they have given the British society opening shops on weekend and service with a smile and suffering the insults without reciprocating or violence. That is the bhajan. Bhulya visrana sathi banjo re lol. That was when my mother explained to me that the greatest thing you can do as a human being with positivity, be compassionate. But there is a beautiful couplet from Kabir. This is also part of my Kalajug nahi, Karayug hai, यहाँ दिन को दे और रात ले क्या खूब सौदा नकद है इसाक दे उसाक ले genuinely nothing but receive so much in bountiful. So when you talk about events, I don't advise people. I share my experience. Even my office staff. Of course, I run a business. Of course, I have to keep my balance sheet. But I believe that the British society, the British Asian, British Indian, British Gujarati society are my sustenance. They
Right. No, definitely. And I can vouch by that. Today, you are admired as one of the achievers in our community. The person who everybody looks at, who comes to this country or who's been in this country, second generation or third generation as well. So, 100%, we vouch by
but
that.
Pranav, this is all, to be honest, it was not designed, not well planned, but like the Lego, put two and two together. But the motivation, when my father told me to Seva Yagna, Jnana Yagna, these were the few thoughts. Wherever possible, be helpful. And people will help you.
Correct.
I tell you, there were days in my life where I wanted people to help me, and people have volunteered to help. Without the support of my readers, my relations, my family, my friends, my well wishers,
Challenges. Biggest challenge that you would have probably faced or you would like to talk about any discrimination, so much so that you were also detained to come to India. Did you ever feel that time that all this that I'm doing is not worth it at all?
no. If I, any situation, in the coolness of mind, if I think that there is injustice, then I'm supposed to fight injustice. If there is a cause for justice, whatever my resources I'm available. And this is where, look, there are so many campaigns talking about the detention in India. I have paid price. To be honest,
So what happened? I mean, and how did you overcome it?
well, suppose on the 28th of June 1986, I went to Mumbai airport. I'm putting the date, I hope I'm not wrong. And that early morning, I went there by British Airways flight. I was supposed to meet Dhirubhai Ambani at 3:30 in his office, but somebody conspired. Everything came out of the book by C. Alexander, who was High Commissioner, then Governor of Maharashtra. And he described that CB was harassed because of the two people based in UK, Asians who were whatever. Jealousy, envy, but nobody can put me down. One thing, if I'm correct, then except Lord Shiva, nobody can put me down. They call it arrogance if you want to. So, that in the book there is a poor incident written by Kanti Nagda. No, I think I am about to complete 89 years in few months' time, and I'm blessed with a reasonable good health and memory also. When I passed the immigration in Mumbai airport, I passed the immigration and the customs, but by the time I heard somebody shouting my name, so I said, I'm here. And within moments, 8, 9 army people with guns surrounded me, pushed me to corner, and I was scared because that was very bad time, 86 June, after the whatever tragedy happened about emergency.
Emergency.
And they won't even allow me to go to toilet. And I'm a diabetic. I needed something to, and I was totally confused. But there was a Gujarati. I can hear that the shop nearby, a Gujarati man. So I scribbled a small note because I was for 9 hours I was holding the corner, and I was able to win sympathy of the people who were surrounding me, the policemen, army men. So I prepared a small note. I told them that I'm diabetic, I feel very hungry, exhausted. But I passed that small note to a shopkeeper.
Okay.
It was to pass on to Sheila Bhatt, who was a famous journalist. He was a very famous journalist. And I said, look, I'm written here, I need some help. Nothing more, one person. She came running, and everybody knew Sheila Bhatt. She came to me, she explained to people who I am. By that time, the High Commissioner in London, and people, at the Times of India, there was front page story. They gave me Indian nationalist. So I was released. But before I was allowed to go, I got a call from Mr. Bhutta Singh. He was Home Minister.
Oh, yes. Bhuta Singh.
And he said, look, there was a mistake. We apologize. So come to Delhi. and meet Prime Minister. Well, look, to be honest, I think in India there are many people even now in jail or detention because somebody's conspiracy. I was just lucky that I was able to release. There was a big story in the Janmabhoomi paper, Times of India. No, I think when I look back, one lesson: people who harass others unnecessarily, they are not the winners.
Your views on today's politics or the government?
First of all, let us look at this way. Today's politics does not permit an honest man to be prime minister.
What is the greatest fear you have in terms of the legacy? How would this transform or how this would move forward for our British Asians and Gujarati community?
I think I'm very optimistic. One, our children are very much committed for better education.
Do you see any fear in terms of the future that can happen?
First of all, I'm not worried.
Young couples who are migrating to this country, what would you like to tell them if they are watching as viewers?
This country and America and developed economies, they want skilled manpower.
Correct.
Only India can supply the skilled manpower. Skilled manpower with an ethical background. So I don't worry too much. Let them find their own feet.
Right. CB, I would like to ask you something about your legacy now, about what next for Asian Voice and Gujarat Samachar.
We are lucky we have enough resources. So I don't worry about tomorrow. कोई न कोई कहीं न कहीं. There's a nice song. कोई न कोई कभी न कभी आएगा अपना तुझे बनाएगा. Like that there was a song. And equally, I have faith in my existing team and others to come. Who knows? It is like a mold. If you have a factory and have a mold for making this, it goes on. So I don't worry.
In your words, what do you think as professionals who are coming from overseas, specifically India, and they are trying to establish themselves in this country, in UK? How can they integrate with the culture, with the British culture? Because there is a lot of differences in their thought process. They come from a different country, they have learned something, they are culturally different. And when they want to come into this country and they want to live and survive and grow in this country, what is it that you would like to tell our viewers?
I don't have any ready answer, but when you go abroad, like joining from one company to another company, it is the duty of the person, man or woman, young or old, is to understand, to respect the existing society. I'll simply put it very: any young person or any age person from one country to another country for better future, and economic migration is part of life. People come to study, to develop further. Say in your case, Pranav, you came about 10 years ago.
6 years.
Now, when you came 6 years ago, I'm sure before you started this home care, you must have some other jobs.
Yes.
You look around, what I call sniff around, you choose and pick. Today, you are in a very successful ladder. Both you can serve people in the care room is a very needed thing. Daya.
And seva.
Also, you can make money also.
Yes.
So I think but you are not the only one. Many people
Correct.
have come and in different ways. But it depended upon you when you started this company, when you got a partner called Nirav Patel,
Yes.
your family. I think it all depends upon you, your starting point, your fundamental inner self.
Just coming on that point of success, what is success?
Success means you want to pay your bills. You want success, very simple. You want to live comfortably within the period.
That's really a good conversation today that we've had and with you, CB. And I'm sure our viewers are very happy to take back some advice from you. But I will now start with some of the rapid fire questions. What is your favorite Asian dish in the UK?
Destination?
Dish, food.
Food.
Yes.
Indian, Gujarati, vegetarian food. Beautifully. Good fragrance. Looking up health. I will. That's why I'm very healthy.
Yeah.
Food is anno devaha.
Yes.
Food is God.
Yes. So we'll make it very quick. You have to not think. You have to make it very quick. One quote that you live by.
As you sow, so you reap.
As you sow, so you reap. Okay. Most inspiring person you've ever met.
So many, but for me, my mother and father.
One book that everybody should read as per you.
Well, I genuinely believe, not because of all the questions of life, Bhagavad Gita has got all the answers.
One piece of advice that you'd like to give it to our young generation, young Asians who are living abroad.
You are born to be great.
Okay.
You are born to be great.
Okay.
Know yourself and march ahead.
That's great. What does the true meaning of community as per you?
Well, community is very simple. It is a group of people of common values, and I think they are more important in a way than individual separately.
Okay. What's your favorite news company, news brand?
In UK, Financial Times, Economist from India, almost all other papers I watch. Not much, but I saw some channels. But no, I read.
You read a lot.
I read biographies.
Okay. So what's your favorite pastime?
My favorite is
Pastime
is walking at least 20 minutes, half an hour, sit down quietly in my chair, doing nothing, just look at the deity of Lord Shiva here.
If you had to summarize your journey in one sentence, what that journey would be like?
I'm just very fortunate.
Okay.
I'm just very fortunate. Wherever we are, hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst also. But don't expect miracles. There's a principle of karma. If you have done things right, then you're entitled for good fruits.
So many people live their lives. Many of them build empires. But today we heard truth and passion from our very own CB Patel. His life journey is a true testimony for all of us living in this country, in the UK, or planning to come from another country and settle in the UK. So thank you so much, CB, for being a part of this interview and helping our viewers to get a lot of knowledge and your inspiration, so that they can also plan their future in this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, CB.